Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. So let's continue with our discussion on the process costing, and what we have been discussing about is the valuation methods, that is the FIFO and the weighted average method, and this is the example that we have already done, right? And we have discussed the FIFO method and the weighted average method. Now in this lecture we are going to wrap this chapter up, because there is, after this topic, we are going to do one practical problem on this. After that we have only a small topic, that is inter-process profits. I'll just give you the hint of that topic, that how that it is to be done. We have only one question on that topic, inter-process profit. It has I think hardly been asked ever in the examination, and there is only one question, that is in the ICI study mat question. That question I'll be covering in the ICI SM series. Okay, we'll be going live with the ICI SM series on the mobile app for December 21 attempt. After that, whatever attempts come, we'll definitely be going live with the series again and again. Okay, so our chapter will be finished in this lecture. We'll end this chapter here. Okay, now, so what we are going to do is we are going to do the practical problem now. I'm not going into the basics now. So this question number 7 we have already done, because whatever this example I framed, this example was this question number 7 only, right? But I framed it in this particular flowchart form so that you people are able to understand it clearly, right? You people are able to connect it in a better way, understand it in a better way. That is why I presented it in a flowchart form rather than the question form. So this question we have already done, right? By both the methods we have done. Now, next, come to question number 8. So we'll be doing question number 8 first now. Let's read. T ABC Limited produces an item which is completed in 3 processes X, Y and Z. The following information is furnished for process X for the month of March 2018. Opening work in progress is given 5,000 units, and this is the value of opening WIP that is given. Value of opening WIP that is given to you. Okay, sir. Units introduced into the process 55,000 units. Okay, this is the fresh input. This is your fresh input. Then this is the value of fresh input. Current period cost, we can say. This is current period cost. Current period cost. Right? Any doubts up till this point? No, sir. Units scrapped 50,000 units. Now, what he has written is, he has written units scrapped 5,000 units. Right? Units scrapped, sir, whether it is a normal loss or an abnormal loss, not given to us. Now this 5,000 units can be a normal loss also. It can be an abnormal loss also. Both are units scrapped, sir. Then what should we do? Let's read the question further. Okay. Now degree of completion is 100% and 60%. Now this degree of completion, right? For this degree of completion for units scrapped. Are you getting the point? Are you remembering all those things which I have already told you? That if degree of completion of the unit scrapped is given, then to be taken accordingly. Now, interesting point here that you should try to understand. Sir, if the degree of completion is given, then that means some part of this unit scrapped out of 5,000 units, some part will definitely be abnormal loss. Why? Because in case of normal loss, if it is a normal loss, then why there is a need for degree of completion? No need of degree of completion, because we do not take normal loss units in the statement of equivalent production, isn't it? So this is the first thing that you should strike your mind immediately, that if the degree of completion of the units scrapped is given, that means some part of it or the whole of it will be a abnormal loss. That is why this degree of completion for abnormal loss is given to you. Further, closing work in progress 5,000 units is given to you, and the degree of completion for this is given as 160%. Right? No problem. Units finished and transferred to the process Y 50,000 units. Normal loss is 5% of total input, including opening WIP. Scrapped units fetch 20 rupees per unit. Now, sir, tell me first, what is the total input? Let's first talk about total input. total input, right? Total input is 5,000 units opening, 55,000 units fresh. So total input is 60,000. Out of this, he says, what is the normal loss? Normal loss is 5% of 60,000, right? That is 3,000 units. Clear? This is your normal loss. Now, he says units scrapped. Units scrapped. How much? 5,000 units. Now, out of these 5,000 units, if my normal loss is 3,000 units as calculated here, right, the rest will be my abnormal loss, that is 2,000 units, right? That is why I told you out of this 5,000 units, it was not given here whether it is a normal or abnormal loss, but we can calculate it on the basis of this information. Whether it is a normal loss, 3,000 is normal loss out of it and 2,000 is the abnormal loss. But one thing I told you, that because degree of completion is given, that means there will be some element of abnormal loss in it. There will be definitely some element of abnormal loss in it. Okay. So he says, presuming the average method of inventory is used, prepare statement of equivalent production cost, distribution and abnormal loss account. Now, in this question, this is one of the questions which came in the examinations. Okay. So this is one of the questions from ICI only, papers. Now, in this question, it is clearly given that you have to use the average method, that is the weighted average method. Okay. Even if the question is silent, whether you have to use the average method or not. If the question is silent, say the question is silent, then what you would have done? In this question, read the question carefully, check out your notes, what I have made you write in the last lecture. I have specifically mentioned this thing in the last lecture, that if the question is silent, for example, this is not given in the question, say, right? This is not given in the question, presume, just given prepare statement of equivalent production. Then, which method you would have applied? In this question, which method you would have applied? Just apply your minds, think that which method you would have applied. I told you in the last lecture, I specifically made that flow chart and I told you to write it in your notebooks. The first thing that you have to check is whether the degree of completion of opening WIP is given or not. Isn't it? So is there any degree of completion given for opening WIP? No, sir. In the question, there is no degree of completion given for opening WIP. That means we cannot apply FIFO method. Even if the question was had been silent, we would have applied the weighted average method only, because degree of completion of opening WIP is not given to us. Clear? So this is important, guys. This is important. These small things you need to understand, because in the examination, these small things do matter. Why I always focus on these small things, right? So let's do it. So all of you must be having the question. Now some of the people who might be having the old file of process costing, guys, I have changed this question number 8, right? In the Hindi lectures, this question number 8 was something else. Why, sir? Because there was another topic which is not relevant now. So I have removed that topic and I have removed that question number 8, right? I have changed it, this question number 8. So you can either write it down, right? All those who have from the app, they will get the latest files, nothing to worry. Okay. Right, sir. So first thing, we have to prepare the statement of equivalent production. Let's go for it. We have to do it by the weighted average method. So let's do the statement of equivalent production. Sir, what is the input? 5,000 units opening, right? 5,000 units opening plus 55,000 units. Total is 60,000 units. Now out of this, finished goods transfer to next process 50,000. Sir, how 50,000? It is given in the question, sir. Units finished and transferred to process by 50,000 units, right? Then we have normal loss of 3,000 units and we have the closing WIP of 5,000 units. So the remaining is my abnormal loss, that is 2,000 units, right? 100% completion here, 50,000 units, 100%. 50,000 units and 100% and 50,000 units, right? Then normal loss, nothing to be taken here. For abnormal loss, they have given the degree of completion 100% on material, that is 2000, right? 60% for labor cost, right sir? 60% is 1200 units. Again 60% for this 1200 units. Any doubts? Clear? Now for closing WIP, again they have given the degree of completion 60%, 3000, 60%, 3000. Any doubts up till this point? I hope this is clear. So this is the statement of equivalent production. We do not have to take anything in the normal loss column. So this is 60,000, right? And this is 57,000, right? This is 54,200. This is 54,200. Clear? So this is the statement of equivalent production as per the weighted average method. In the weighted average method, we do not take the opening and the current period FG as separate. We combine it whether some part was done in the previous period or not, right? What we assume is that everything is done in the current period only. So it is 100% degree of completion in the current period, right? Now, moving on to the statement of cost per equivalent unit. Now, what we are going to have is, we are going to have the material cost, right? So, in case of material cost, what we are going to do is, we are going to combine the total cost, right? We are going to combine the total cost. That means we are going to combine 35,000 and 20 lakh, 20,000, 35,000 plus 20 lakh, 20,000, right? So the total cost is 20 lakh 35,000. Now next is labor cost. Labor cost is given as 13,000 and 8 lakh, right? It is given as 13,000 opening plus 8 lakh of the current period. So total is 8 lakh 13,000. Similarly, for overhead cost, for overheads it is 25,000 opening plus 13,000, 30,000. That is the current period cost. So this comes to 13 lakh 55,000. Any doubts up till this point? Right? Now the equivalent units you have already calculated here, 57,000, right? Then labor cost is 54,200, then this one 54,200. What is the cost per equivalent unit? Now we have missed out on a big thing here. What, sir? We have missed out on a big thing here. What, sir? Read the question carefully. Read the question. Sir, it is given that scrapped units fetch 20 rupees per unit. Scrapped units fetch 20 rupees per unit. That means whatever is our loss, that is, and we have scrapped it, right? We have scrapped those units. That means we are receiving something out of it, right? So if it is, we are receiving something out of it, we are going to, that is going to reduce our material cost, right? That is going to reduce our material cost. So that means here I have to take, now there is two things. Now sir, listen to it very carefully. In terms of scrapped units, we have the normal loss 3,000 and the abnormal loss 2,000, and it says the scrapped units fetch 20 rupees. That means the whole of 5,000 rupees is fetching 20 rupees, right? See, there are two things that we can do. One is, from the material cost, we only reduce the normal loss scrap. And what about the abnormal loss scrap? That we show it in the abnormal loss account, that is to be taken to cost ledger and control account, CLC account, from there to P&L account, right? Or the another alternative presentation is you reduce the whole of material cost. You reduce the whole of material cost, that is 5,000 multiplied by 20 rupees, reduce the material cost, that whatever you have fetched out of it, it has reduced your cost, right? So what institute provided the solution in this was they reduced only the normal loss. So that is one thing that I'm going to show you. What they have done is, I will reduce here, sir, I have lack of space. Okay, I'll remove this. Okay, for now I'll remove this and then we'll write it. Less normal loss scrap, right? 3,000 units multiplied by 20, right? That means 60,000 rupees were to be subtracted from this cost, and this net cost will be 19,95,000 after the scrap value which is subtracted, and we are taking only the normal loss scrap value, we are subtracting from the material cost. Alternatively, what you can do is you can take the total scrap value, that is 5,000 units multiplied by 20. You can directly reduce 1 lakh rupees from the material cost only, right? So both the ways it is correct. Whether you take only the normal loss here and the abnormal loss, whatever the scrap we are deriving from the abnormal loss, we take it to the bank account or the cost ledger control account, right? CLC account we can also take it. Okay, so cost per equivalent unit here is 35 rupees. For labor, it is 15 rupees, right? I'll check once. 54,200. Yes. And for overhead cost, it is 25 rupees. So the total cost here is 75 rupees. Cost per equivalent unit. Any doubts in this thing? Any doubts up till this point? I hope this is clear. So be careful with the unit scrap. Do not forget to take it unit scrapped, right? Now, valuation of FG. I'll talk about valuation of FG first, okay? Now, valuation of FG, sir, very simple. How many units have been completed? 50,000 units completed and transferred to the next process. What is the total cost incurred? 75 rupees. So the total value is 37,50,000, right? Then we are going to do valuation of closing WIP. Valuation of closing WIP, right? So for valuation of WIP, material incurred on how many units? 5,000 units. So 5,000 multiplied by 35 rupees. Labor and overheads. Labor incurred on how many units? 3,000 units. 15 rupees. Overheads incurred on 3,000 units multiplied by 25, right? So this value comes to 1,75,000. Labor comes to 45,000 and overheads come to 75,000, right? So the total value here is 2,95,000. This is the value of closing WIP. Then we can value the abnormal loss also. Value of abnormal loss, right? Again on the abnormal loss, because we had the different degree of completion, so we'll divide it into various parts, right? We'll say material incurred on how many units? 2,000 units multiplied by 35 rupees. Labor cost incurred on how many units? 1,200 units, right? So multiplied by 15 rupees, and the overhead cost incurred on 1,200 units multiplied by 25 rupees, right? So this value comes to 70,000, right? Then we have 18,000 and 30,000, right? So total is 1,18,000. This is the value of abnormal loss. Clear? As we have been doing the normal valuation. So in this question, we have covered the normal loss also, we have covered the abnormal loss also, we have covered the scrap value also, we have covered the valuation also. Now the question says prepare the abnormal loss account. The question says prepare the abnormal loss account. So we'll prepare that also, sir. No issues. Abnormal loss account. So it is going to be a very simple account, abnormal loss account, very simple account, sir. Particulars, units, amount. Particulars, units and amount, right? So the first thing that we are going to take is to process X account, to process X account. How many units? 2000 units. What is the value of the units? We have just calculated as 1,18,000. We have just calculated as 1,18,000. Now, on this 2000 units, 20 rupees we have recovered, right? That I will take it to bank or CLC, by bank or CLC account, right? 2000 units at the rate of 20 rupees, that is 40,000 rupees we have recovered, and the remaining I will be taken to costing profit and loss account. Costing profit and loss account, right? So 78,000. Clear? This comes to 1,18,000. 1,18,000. Clear? Any doubts in this point? So this is the whole question that you have to solve. And regarding the scrap value, I have already told you that there are two alternative presentation. One is take only the normal loss scrap, and the abnormal loss scrap is taken to the bank account separately, right? The another thing is that you take the whole of this scrap, 5,000 multiplied by 20, 1 lakh rupees, you subtract it from the material cost. Both the presentations are there in the various books or various previous attempts also. Okay, so you can do it both the ways. So this is the whole question that we have. Okay, I have covered almost everything in this question. Now what I am going to do is I am going to give you a homework, right? Sir, what is the homework? That assume, your homework is that assume for opening WIP, assume the degree of completion to be material 100% and labor and overhead say 50%, right? Now you have to solve this question by FIFO method, right? You have to solve the question by FIFO method, and you have to comment down in the video, you have to write it down in the comment section that what is your answer. I don't know, I haven't solved it, but I am giving you it as a homework that you should try it out, that what will be your answer if you have to solve it by the FIFO method. You must try it, read everything whatever we have studied, read everything, read your notes, read from the handbooks very carefully. After that, try to solve this question by FIFO method on the assumption that degree of completion for opening WIP is material 100% and labor and overheads 50%, right? So this is the assumption that we are making, and you have to solve it on this basis. Okay, so this is your homework, guys. Now this topic ends here, sir. Nothing else to be done in this topic. We have covered almost everything. Now the last thing that we have to discuss is inter-process profits. Inter-process profits, right? Now talking about this inter-process profit, what does it mean? I'll just tell you what does it mean. After that, there is only one problem in this inter-process profit, and this topic has hardly been asked in the examination, right? So I'll take up that problem in the ICI SM series available on the mobile app, right? Because there is one question in the institute material on this. That's it. No other question available, because this topic has never been asked in the examination, right? What is the inter-process profit? He says, say this is the process number 1, right? This is process number 2, and this is process number 3. Whenever we are transferring the output of process number 1 to process number 2, what we are doing till now, what we have done is we have transferred from process number 1 to process number 2 at cost, right? Whatever is the cost incurred in the process number 1, on that basis only, on cost to cost basis, we have transferred it to process number 2. But he says that if you consider every process as a separate profit center, what you do is, he says, whenever you are transferring the output of process 1 to process 2, you say cost plus you add some element of profit to it. Whenever you are transferring the output of process 2 to process 3, you say cost plus profit. Some profit element is added at every process in addition to the cost. That is known as inter-process profits. Now they say that if there are inter-process profits, you have to show the cost element and the profit element separately when you are going to transfer the finished goods from one process to another process, right? That means in the question they say what you have to do in the question is, one second, yeah, they say how to present this question. They say particulars, right? What is the total cost? Then show the cost element in that total value I can say, not total cost, total value I can say, then the profit element, right? Similarly, this is the debit side. Similarly, you will show the credit side, that is particulars, right? Total cost and profit element, right? Then you will write it down here, direct material. What is the total value? What is the cost in that? And what is the profit in that? Now, in the process number 1, there will be no profit. Why? It will only be the cost. There will be no profit element in the material cost. But when we move on to the process number 2 and there we take the material cost, there will be the material which will be coming from process number 1, which will have the profit element. Okay. Then direct labor we will have. Then other expenses, direct expenses, indirect expenses. Okay. Then what we are going to do is, we are going to, this is the total cost, this is the totals, right? Out of this, we are going to reduce the closing value, closing stock. If there is any closing stock, because the profit on that closing stock is still not realized, that closing stock is still lying in that particular process only, so the profit has not been realized. So you will reduce the closing stock, and whatever is the net value, that will be transferred to next process. Whenever you are transferring to next process, you have to identify what is the cost element in that and what is the profit element in that part. Okay, so here you will write by transfer, right sir? So this will be transfer to the next process. Any doubts? So this is a small topic which has never been asked in the examination. Just you should have the knowledge, or a theory part can be asked in this, inter-process profit. Let me check in the books. I think I have given the theory. Differentiate between process costing and job costing in the additional theory part, guys. Yes, in the additional theory part, page 12.9, open the handbooks. There I have given explain inter-process profit. So it can come as a theory part, where I have given the meaning also, I have given the advantages also, and I have given the disadvantages also, right? So you can read it from there, page number 12.9, okay, from the KSJ handbooks, right? So this is all about the chapter of process costing. I have tried my best to explain it in the best way. I hope you people have enjoyed it. I hope you people have understood it. Now, the next thing that you have to do is practice, 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 and practice. Right? Where to practice from? Sir, follow the ICS study mat first. Then all those who are having the handbooks, they must practice from the handbooks also, because there was one question. I again and again telling you that there is one question in the July 2021 attempt which came from our book, which was nowhere in the ICISM, nowhere in the previous year questions. Right? So that question came there, and a similar question was there in the books, and our students were able to attempt it very easily. Right, that was a bit of a tricky question, but easy question, sir. Nothing, just if your concepts are clear, every question is easy. It's only about the trick, how you apply it. Right. So this is all about the process costing, sir. right? We have completed the process costing. Now the next chapter that we are going to do is joint and byproduct costing. Next lecture, next chapter, new chapter, that is joint and byproduct costing. Now again, this joint and byproduct costing is somewhat related to process costing only, right? So before, do not jump to the joint and byproduct costing chapter. First complete your process costing. Once you are clear with each and every stage of the process costing, then jump to this joint and byproduct costing, right? Because you won't be able to understand clearly this joint and byproduct costing until you have done the process costing chapter. Clear, sir? So see you guys in the next lecture with the next chapter, new chapter, joint and byproduct costing. See you guys there. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.